Right. All praises. Alright, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all glory and honor to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. We say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutation to all the brothers all over the world that preaching this truth. Waking up our people to the dearly beloved heritage that they are the actual biological children of Israel. And cursing out two-thirds because they just won't listen to the Lord. You know, a man can't listen to yourself, you have to listen to God. Let God be truth and every man a liar as it is written. Now, to the speckled Israelites that is waking up, we say shalom. Now, first scripture I ask you for is seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Whoever haven't find it, bring it out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 36.
No, I guess.
Whoever, bring it out one time. You're supposed to be on point with that scripture, let go. You have it there? Bring it out now and Google it and bring it out now.
This is okay, 36.
I have it here.
34.
This is
Bring it
the
out.
book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahawah, and read.
No, the book of the Lord is the Bible. Seek ye out of the Bible and read. Read that over again for me.
It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
Yeah, the book of the Lord is not the Quran, it's not the Bhagavad Gita, it's none of them book that man write. This is the book of the Lord. This is authentic. This is what causing all these prophecies like coronavirus and all that thing to come now. Because the Lord said in his own word that he will start to point out. When you go into the prophecies, you see the prophecies unraveling. You know, if I go into the Quran, I can't find one prophecy. If I go to the Bhagavad Gita, I can't find one prophecy. If I go to some Kabbalah book, I can't find no prophecy. But see this book here, it remains authentic from generation to generation. However, we who was the Israelites came here by the transatlantic slave trade, we was taught the way of the slave master. Yeah, the white man taught us to worship God the way he wants us to worship God. But we were stripped of our heritage, our nationality, our language, our culture, everything was stripped away from us. And we was given the slave master heritage. And the only slave master in return took our heritage and claimed that he is the Jew. And we are just what? Africans and Gentiles? No, we are not. We are the actual biological children of God. So read it over again, huh?
It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
He says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord, which is this Bible and what?
And read.
Well,
no one of these shall fail.
meaning none of the prophecies in the Bible shall fail. None of them will fail in read.
None shall want to meet.
And you cannot meet another book with the Bible. Like what the Muslims do, they try to meet another book with the Bible. You cannot make the Quran with the Bible. You cannot make the Bhagavad Gita with the Bible. The Bible stands alone, predominant by itself. Everybody understand this thing? So let me get into what we was going. Now the topic tonight is we are not hamites, aka Africans, right? We are not hamites. We are the actual children of Israel. We put a disclaimer for we being Africans. However, the Christian church is fighting us back and say, oh yeah, all these Africans, you're going to have to prove that to me. You're going to have to prove Deuteronomy 28:68 is given to the white people in Israel, and then you're all going to have to prove to us what year or time did the white people who call themselves Jews in Jerusalem ever go into slavery on cargo slave ships. That only happened to 1% of people in the world, which is us. We have that record.
And that's what I don't really saying it. The Israelites in the Bible is the Native Americans, the Negroes, the Hispanics. You understand? Yes, the Spanish brother who you think is not your brother, that is your brother too. You understand? Because they are people, they mightn't understand that, but the Hispanic, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, you understand? The Caribbean, the Yahawahs, that is our people. We was brought all the way from Africa to here. You understand? To the islands.
But how did we go into Africa? In fact, somebody give me something. The Israelites going into Africa was a customary thing. And I'll explain what a customary thing. Even Christ, when he was a little child. What did the angel of the Lord told Joseph and Mary to do? He said, take the little child, flee from the land of Judah, and go into what? Egypt, which is Africa. So the Israelites always custom going into Africa. It was a customary thing. In fact, you get a scripture from me. It's going to be Luke. Check it in Luke, or you Google it. Check it in Luke. And the Lord telling the Joseph and Mary, take the little child and flee into Egypt, which is Africa. Some people think Egypt is another place. No, Egypt is Africa. Read. You could get the account in Luke or in Matthew, but wait. Bring it out.
This is the book of Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13.
Well,
and when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt.
Flee into where?
And flee into Egypt.
So people think Egypt is somewhere else on the earth. No. From where the Israelites was to where Egypt was, it's just walking distance. They just had to walk across the desert into Ham, the land of Ham, which is Africa.
Just to add on what he's saying too, because the land where the Israelites was dwelling in was called Jerusalem. Right? And Jerusalem located on the west coast. Right.
And Jerusalem, and just after that, Jerusalem is just northeast Africa.
Right. So we could have walked.
See, I don't know why people want to be a Muslim for, just hold a minute. I don't know why you want to be a Muslim for. And Mecca is nowhere near Africa. But Jerusalem is northeast Africa. See how everything lining up now with our people? You want to be a Muslim, but there is no validation for that. But Jerusalem is northeast Africa. It's just something for people to think about now.
And just to add on with that and all too, the land Africa wasn't named Africa. You understand? Because they catch you with that name. You understand? Before it was the land of Ham, and before that it was just it was the land of Ham, but they name it Africa because in them timing, right? The general whoever conquered the land, they used to name the land after himself. You understand? So the general who conquered Africa was named Africa.
Yeah, a so-called white man, right?
So, a white man, right?
When we say so-called white man,
they're not white.
Because they're not white, they're red. They are the children of Esau, Edom. Therefore, they are the Edomites of the Bible, right? They are not your brothers and sisters either. They are your enemy. The Bible says we were sold unto our enemies. Right? So, continue what you're saying.
Right? The general that conquered that land was Africana Scipiano. And he conquered that land and named the land after himself. So they get a short name Africa. Right? Because they didn't want to name it the whole. They didn't want to put the whole. So that name Africa now for short, same as America. America wasn't named America either. You understand? That was named after another white man. Which name was Amerigo?
Amerigo Vespucci, right? The reason why they call it, and the word Amerigo means bitter land. Land of bitterness. Why America called the land of bitterness? Because the Israelites was there as what? Slaves.
Right?
Right? We came to America as what? Slaves.
Cotton pickers.
Right? Cotton pickers. Sharecroppers. You understand what I'm saying? Chattel slavery as we learn in history.
Right. So how you could be an African if the name of that land was named after a man? Right? So you had to now use your head. Go back. What was the name of that land before it was Africa? You understand? Who was me before I was an African?
And you know what picture come to my mind? Brother Howard. Yeah. Give me remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations.
Yeah, I hold Psalm 83
and you hold Psalm 83 one time, because that's a beautiful thing Brother Yakal is saying here.
What was your name before you was an African? What they used to call you? Because if Africa is named after a white man, who was you? You understand? That's the thing we people don't know. That's why the scripture says our people don't die for lack of knowledge. If you don't have that knowledge, how are you going to know that he's not African? How are you proving he's not African? You have to go back, and the Bible actually teaches you that he's not an African.
Right? Yeah, the Negroes are not African. The Negroes are different lineage of people than the Hamites. Though we look alike, just as different of a Chinese is from a Japanese. And they look alike. Read. Who have it? Yeah, no,
that's
what you are.
So you remember in Jeremiah 17 for
Bring it out.
Look at Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Where?
And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
From your what?
from thine heritage.
God never give us religion. Religion comes from a Greek word called religio, which is to divide and rule. God didn't give us religion, he gave us a divine heritage. Read it over again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
That's why we call ourselves spiritual Baptist, Catholic, Muslim, Seventh-day Adventist. You just name the religion. And what the slave master do, he gave us that to divide we and rule we. Hence the reason why if either Catholic, well, I can't agree with you because you're a Muslim, and I can't agree with you because this, and we can't come together. But what did Zephaniah 1 and 2 say? He said, come together, O nation, not desire. But you know the beauty about this whole thing? When we was coming across on the slave ship, none of us was none of these religions. We came here and meet these religions. What was we before? What people or what nation were we before we came to this west? We were the nation of Israel that lost our heritage and decided to assimilate with the so-called Africans, the Hamites. That's why we started to call ourselves Yoruba, Mandingo, and different, you know, African tribal names. But what did the name that the Lord gave us? He gave us Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Ephraim, Manasseh, and the list goes on. Everybody understand this thing?
So just to add on what the brother is saying, right? The Lord used to send me into Africa to hide because we were under persecution from them. I'll tell the information here.
Yeah, you can bring it out to a beautiful information. Right? Somebody give me, you have Luke 20:21 when Christ prophesied that we would go into Africa.
Right, but before I bring all this, right, we couldn't go and hide anywhere else because the Lord actually created the hamites, which is not our people, which is heathens, the real Africans and them, who just put plates in the lip and do all the festival of rod, which is you painting your penis and having sex with a man and all them things. We people wasn't about that. We people was the salt of the land. You understand? We people we famous for everything. You understand? Hence the reason you Usain Bolt, Michael Jackson, all the popular singers and everything popular that the Israelites, you understand?
And the thing about it, when you came on the side of the earth, the Africans never tell you, they never came for us to carry you back there.
They actually say that we's not their people.
When you go to Africa, and you go to certain places in Africa, and you say you are a child of the West, they will say you're Kata. You know what the Kata? A child of a slave. They don't assimilate themselves with us. Or cotton picker.
I can show this video show that we're not the tribal ham. So if we the tribal ham, why we people not doing this?
You have a script there, hold on, before you get the Psalms, give them Exodus 11:7. Yeah, and then you will come back to that.
Right. So you actually seeing a Hamite shoving the whole head inside a cow bottom. It have a next video that'll show you how they are not our people. You know, the Hamites. It's another video where they actually washing their head with cow piss. So okay, let's get this part of this video, yeah? Right.
So which if you don't go agreement before you get married, as soon as the girl is in your house, the family will come for their cows.
They are coming for the cows.
That's why girls bring more cows.
That is it. So you have girls, you are rich.
Whoa.
That is it.
Whoa.
That is the thing.
Whoa. That's impressive. But can you take me around? There's something that I want to understand, yeah? So I want to know, what is he doing?
He's actually working on the hair. Okay, they do this. Actually, after doing this, you first go urine from the cow. When you see a cow urinating,
so you see now what's going on there? You washing in here with the cow piss.
Put it there. That urine, like, colors the hair.
Okay.
The hair will come out brown, like brownish.
Dye the hair.
That is dye, in fact.
Okay.
It is dye.
Right, so it doesn't show you that we are not the Hamites because our people full of pride. You know, our people not go in and put the head by no cow, shove the head in no cow ass and take the head and wash no cow piss.
Can't no nigga going and put the head up in a cow and lick the cow bottom. I mean, these Africans do these things. We don't do these things. And no nigga, you know, all were you Jakes trying to be Africans. None of you all that dashiki in it whole time. Because that part of the African culture. None of all you ain't going to put no big plate on the lip and do like some of the African tribe. You're not doing that because there's nothing in your spirit to do that. Bring out your precept, the Exodus.
Look at Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
It says, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move its tongue.
He said, against any of the children of Israel, which is the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, shall not a what?
A dog move its tongue.
Shall not a dog. The word dog, they represent heathen. The heathens cannot move their tongue against us. Read.
Yeah, it say, continuing, it say, against man or beast,
Well,
that ye may know how that the Lord do put a difference.
he said that you may know that the Lord do put a difference
between the Egyptians and Israel.
So there's that, though we look alike, though when you watch a Negro and you watch an African, we both look alike. We both have the same kind of hair, same kind of structure. But you know what? There is a difference in our spirit. That's why the Bible says, for the Lord do put a difference between the African, between the Egyptian, which is the Africans, and Israel.
That was the names before. They was African. They were known as Hamites, Canaanites. They were known as Egyptians.
In fact, the whole entire land of Africa is called the land of Ham.
Right? And I just want to bring out this piece of information from the book of Babylon to Timbuktu, which is a history book. Right? It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey, captured Jerusalem in 70 AD. Right?
Right, he was a Roman general serving under Vespasian and Titus. Right? And they came to Jerusalem, and you know, I don't know if you all remember the Knight Templars and the war, and the bloody war that went down in Jerusalem, and a lot of, you know, atrocities was going on there. Well, our forefathers was, and you get that scripture in Ramah, there was a cry, and Rachel weeping for her children. But then we continue on.
I did say capture Jerusalem in 70 AD.
In what?
70 AD.
70 AD, Titus and Vespasian put an end to the Jew state, or the tribe of Judah state. Can? But go ahead.
It said General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end.
Roman general. You see, the white people and us was always enemy from birth. We could go way back. We could go way back in Genesis and prove to you that 2 nations was in the womb of Rebekah, and the Bible says 2 nations was in the womb, and 2 different manner of people shall be what? Shall be separated from each other, and the one people shall be stronger than the other.
Now I was talking about the Israelites
and the heathens, which is Esau, Edom. That way he didn't say 2 brothers and 2 women. No, the Lord separate them from the womb. He said 2 nations are in thy womb. Read.
It said Titus, and it said General Vespasian and Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Well,
and we know that Jewish state was talking about the actual Jerusalem, because Jerusalem wasn't Jewish. It's just a suffix to say that something is like something. You understand?
Pertaining to.
Because we wasn't Jewish. We were the actual Jews. You understand? That way it come from. Now with our Jewish, right? You can get that in Revelation where it say in Revelation, it say, I know of them that call themselves Jews but are not. They are the synagogue of Satan.
We will get to that too. We will get back to all them things.
But we're sticking on topic. Right? It say,
you give me Luke 1, you know Luke 1:16, it's like here. Luke chapter 20 verse 21 or 21:20. One of things, check the boot.
And it say the Jewish state with slaughter.
With what?
With slaughter.
So how did they drive us out of the land of Israel with what?
Slaughter.
With great slaughter. You see our brothers and sisters neck getting chopped down, and the Bible says blood running the streets of Jerusalem like water.
Right.
Like water.
Before I continue here, I want to bring out that we had.
Bring it up.
This is the book of Psalm chapter 137. Verse 7. Remember, O Yahawah, the children of Edom.
The children of who?
Of Edom.
Who is the so-called white people today? You so-called white people, you are the Edomites. Where the Bible says, when Rebekah conceived, the first child came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. When you look at the so-called white man, he's not the color of this. but he looks red.
Redneck.
And that's what you call them what?
Redneck.
When you go to places like Alabama and them places, that call them, look at these rednecks.
They see the blood in their flesh.
And how do these people like the meat? They like it medium rare. You know, kind of rawish, because the scripture says that is the trait of Esau. He ate his meat, you understand, raw.
That's why Jacob, when he come in, he tells Jacob, hey, I didn't really care if it's raw. Give me that pot to share so. And he sold his birthright from
And he sold his birthright because that's what he did before the Lord. By eating raw meat was an abomination before the Lord.
And also to add to up to this day.
Look what it's like here.
It's not raw meat.
Look what they do to. Come on. It is hard to understand. Look what they do to George Floyd, huh?
Yeah, son.
You actually put your foot on the brother throat and the brother crying hell, and you actually is going down that no help for you. But here the evil with it now. Our people so witchcraft in the system. You going to your oppress and asking them for help for George Floyd?
No, you can't.
Marching around the White House. No justice, no peace. When the Bible says your help cometh from where? From the Lord, which created heaven and the earth. Why? If the Israelites only turn to their God, and they know that, they know if the day we try to Christ, the God of this Bible, if the day this whole thing turn wrong on them. So the plan, the ultimate plan that Esau, Edom have, is to keep the Israelites away from their God.
Keep them sleeping.
You get in some.
Keep them sleeping. Finish it off. The book of Psalm chapter 137 verse 7 say, remember, O Yahawah, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem.
Yeah, Titus and Vespasian come down here and destroy everything, burn it, break it down to the foundation.
Say, who said, raise it even to the foundation.
The word raise it means burn it. When you look into the Hebrew, it means burn it.
Raise it is already fire reason now.
Can.
Who daughter of Babylon?
Who is the daughter of Babylon? You're talking about Rome. And America is what you call the revised Roman Empire.
Who are to be destroyed.
Who are to be what?
Who are to be destroyed.
What will happen to America?
Who are to be destroyed.
America is ought to be destroyed because she's the revised Roman Empire all over again. Hence the reason why they have a Senate. You understand? A parliament, a senate, all that was in ancient Rome. They got all these things from ancient Rome. And have the Israelites now subjugated to the rules and regulation of this demonic system.
Like working here,
right, it say, put an end to the Jewish state slaughter. So you see the slaughter what I was talking about, they came and they burned down our Jerusalem. They take our women, they rape, you understand? They take all the gold as you see in the world right now, all the spoils as they can say, all what they have. They take from us. You understand? Because they would never tell you that the so-called black people was ruling. You understand? And that's another topic, but we was ruling. We was once ruling this place.
You know, I feel like we're gonna have part 2 in this video. You know, the next part 2 is when we had to bring in this book Nathan knows no color line.
Yeah. But I'm gonna keep reading it. Say, put an end to the Jewish state, right? Right, with great slaughter.
With great what?
With great slaughter.
Yeah, they put an end to our state, which is now the state was Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Because when Yahawah Mashiach walked the earth, there was 3 predominant tribes in Israel. It was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The rest of the tribes was scattered throughout the diaspora. And that's why the Apostle Paul was sent to bring them back in one. When the Christian boy, now Paul went to the Chinese, no, he didn't went to none of them. He went to God back, did dispose and bring them back into one. Like the true understanding of the scripture.
The history video where we can watch considering history when they come to destroy Babylon, Jerusalem. When we was guarding temple, and there was their time was a breakdown, because when they say they break down, we spiritually they're gonna break down physically, because and that would I'm getting to the temple and they break down the temple.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting through and we're going, the whole nation of Israel and I'm coming out and fighting against them. Yeah. You know, even Sharon, the woman with forks in their hand, because they wanted to break down we sanctuary, but we're going. Yahawah Shemashai caused it to happen because why? We were stiff-necked, we rebelled against Yahawah Shemashai, so he gave them Yahawah Shemashai gave, you know, the power, the sword, which is his sword on the earth. He saw Edom, which is we know the so-called white man today, to come and destroy Jerusalem. You know, but we
Yeah, he was the sword that the Lord used to destroy it.
Sure, it can.
You understand? And these wicked say, burn it, even down to the foundation.
Yeah.
How could we forget that? That playing in the mental right now. How we could forget that, boy? That way Paul say, what I did is I stir up your pure minds with the gospel. Because all these things, Paul say, would come back to your remembrance. Can? You have more on that?
Yeah, that get to the point.
Yeah, get to the point. Can.
Right, it said during the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
You say many outrages and what?
Atrocities.
Go ahead.
Were committed against the residue of the people.
Go ahead.
It said during the period of Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews.
Over what?
1 million Jews.
You know, I know you brothers know it, but for these young ones that waking up and who you now hearing this truth, over 1 million Jews. Where did the real Jews fled?
Fled into Africa.
Fled where?
Into Africa.
You're going to get that account in Luke 20:20 when you have it there?
And it's so spiritual. It didn't say Jewish.
Is that the 2021 or 21:20?
Right. It say fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution.
Fleeing from what?
From Roman persecution.
So now, let me use some common sense here. If the Jews were white people, so-called white people, as they want, the Christian church want to push, why is that fleeing in Africa when you feel the Romans will not make them out?
You pick you out?
You feel they will not pick them out? And when you get the scripture where you have Joel, right? And I want you to get the scripture where Paul, where the man mistaken Paul for an Egyptian. He said, that Egyptian? That Egyptian? Bring out the scripture here.
Yeah, this is book of Luke chapter 21, verse 20.
Go ahead.
It says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
Well, Lord says, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. This prophecy going with this history here in Babylon to Timbuktu. Listen good to it.
It said, then know that the desolation therefore is nigh.
He said, then know that the desolation therefore is what?
Is nigh.
He said, then know that the desolation, which means the destruction of Jerusalem is nigh. Read.
It said, then let them which are in Judea flee into the mountains.
He said, then let them which are in Judea flee where?
To the mountains.
Those mountains represent Africa. That is the Africa. Those mountains there represent Africa. Read.
He said, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
He said, and let them which are in the midst what?
Of it depart out.
He said, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter therein.
He said, let them that are in different countries don't enter into Jerusalem. Read.
For these be the days of vengeance.
For these be the days of what?
Vengeance.
These be the days of what?
Vengeance.
These be the days of vengeance. Yahawah say it all about. Don't come back into Jerusalem because you ain't going to find nothing there. He said, because these be the day of vengeance. So what the Lord was telling us to do? Flee into Africa. And somebody had to give me Revelation 12. Give me Revelation 12. Where he said that, and I saw a woman with the moon and the star that she fought.
Yeah.
Because that it will line up with this here too. Continue, Mark.
Yeah, it says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written.
That all things that are written, go ahead.
May be fulfilled.
And all things that were written of the prophets prophesying that this would come to pass may be fulfilled. It happened in Jeremiah time when Nebuchadnezzar came and what? We see Jerusalem and burn it down. And then the princes of Judah was taken from Jerusalem into what? Babylon. Even Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and Daniel was taken as little children. You understand? In the time of the prophet Jeremiah prophesying that. And they was taken from Judah into Babylon. Can? Yeah. That's all I don't like. Enough with this. Revelation.
Right. Is this the book of Revelation?
No, you hold on before that. You had something to bring up?
No,
you go ahead.
Yeah, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 1.
Go ahead.
It says, and they appear a great wonder in heaven.
He said, no, this is John in the spirit, and he's seen something in the spirit here. He said, they appear a great wonder in heaven. Go ahead.
A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
So everybody understand what the sun and the moon is, right? So help me out. Let me hear what all they understand what the sun and the moon under their feet. Come on, brothers.
Yeah, I was
You know what? You know it, right? Yahawah? Come on. Sleep.
I read the thing.
Alright.
Read it over again, Ak.
And they appear a great wonder
in
heaven, a woman clothed with the sun.
Bring it out now, bring it out.
With the sun, right? This is the book of they say this is the book of Revelation chapter 12 verse 1. And they appear a woman, a great wonder in heaven, a woman, that woman go back to Israel. You know, clothed with the sun, that sun go back to the knowledge.
So the sun and the moon means wisdom and knowledge. That is what it represents. The sun and the moon represent wisdom and knowledge. Go ahead.
Right. And with the moon go back to wisdom, under her feet, and upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. The 12 stars go back to the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel. But go down into it. It have more meat in that. So all of that coming back to this very same topic we took coming here. Yeah. And she being with her,
and she being with child,
traveling in birth and pain to be delivered.
And she being with child, traveling in birth and pain to be delivered, right? Now, we could say in this context, it type in Mary, right? Because it happened in Mary and Joseph time where she had it was to be leave Jerusalem and going to Egypt, right? And that is when Herod bring out the edict that every firstborn shall be put to death. I want what you scripture in Ramah. There was a cry and Rachel weeping for her children. You have that? Somebody can get it, or they come on and be fast on deck with them things.
Yeah, you have it?
All that lined up together as one. All this is one big lesson here. Like when you guys say we're going to do a topic on Ham and Shem, I know that no easy lesson. You just can't just run through that just so. You have to be precept must be upon precept. Bring it out. You bring it out, Doc, if you have it to read it.
Let's look at Matthew chapter 2 and verse 18. It says, in Ramah was there a voice to the lamentation and weeping.
You see what Ramah mean? Lamentation, weeping, and moaning. Everybody keep this in all their crying out glad and don't forget these things. Go ahead.
It says, great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children.
Rachel weeping for her children. Go ahead.
And would not be comforted.
And will not be comforted. Because why great slaughter? Herod slaughtering every firstborn of Israel shall be what? Shall be put to death. Look what happened in 70 AD. Titus come and burn the city down. And those who escaped went back to Jerusalem, become gladiators in the Colosseum. And those who, I'm sorry, not escape, Slovakia. And those who they caught went to Rome and become gladiators. You see, they had to bring the movie called Gladiator. But Gladiator ain't no white man, he's supposed to be a black man, Israelite man.
Real black strong.
So continue, Hank.
Keep reading there?
Yeah.
It say,
read it over again, so like
it say in Ramah was there a voice heard lamentation and weeping and great mourning.
You see, lamentation, weeping and mourning. Same thing happened in America. When we came to America, it was what? Lamentation, weeping and mourning. It's always the same thing cause going on with the Israelites. It never stopped. The curses just for one generation to another generation, it's just curses. Can? Go ahead.
It's a racial weeping.
You understand this thing here?
Yeah.
You understand this thing here? You understand this thing here? And don't forget these things. Read.
It's a Rachel weeping for her children.
Rachel what?
Weeping for her children.
Rachel weeping for her children. There was sadness all through Jerusalem. That is, Rachel represents the nation of Jerusalem. The nation of Israel. Weeping for her children. Sadness because why? Great slaughter. Herod, firstborn of Israel, should be put to death. The same thing happened in the days of Moses. When Moses was born, what Pharaoh say? The firstborn of every Hebrew, find them and put them to death. You see, the curses just keep recurring, brother. It's a recurring thing with the curses. Everybody understand this thing? Read.
You know, we come back to my very spiritual to concerning Cain and Abel. Because what you want, Abel come and die. You know, I think he was our first one.
Yeah.
Abel was a younger brother.
No, the first one was Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel was like,
yeah. Cain and Abel.
Well, he was the youngest.
But then watching prophecy in Jacob and Esau, the Bible says, but the elder shall serve the younger. And that prophecy is what's sticking Esau's heart and never. And he always know that blessing could never be his own. So he always say, his motto and his goal is to get rid of the Israelites once and for all. Read that.
I did say weeping for her children and would not be comforted.
And will not be what?
And would not be comforted.
Yeah, and there was no comfort in Jerusalem. Read.
Because they are not.
But they are what?
They are not.
But they are not. They disperse, they scatter all over the place.
No, that was nothing.
Yeah, they become, they reduce, and they reduce to nothing.
And because, hey, what you going on around right now? What you going on Mexico, the border like right now? So what you going on around the place right now? What you even going on, and hey, and if you watch you going on in Haiti right now, they killing out the hamites, them killing out the Israelites. The hamites, them killing out the Israelites in Haiti. And it's war right now, it's war with the Hamites, with the Israelites right now. You know, so all around the world, you know, that's killing spirits.
This topic, I just feel, I get very emotional with this topic because you hear why I get emotional with this topic in the sense of knowing that this is our heritage. This is what happened to we. And this is what happened to us in America. Do you know there was a time when every male child, the slave master was alter them? Chop off the penis and things. You remember these things, eh? All these things is a recurring thing with the Israelites. That happened in America. Look at that.
And the thing is with it too, they had the urge to make movies about it. They had the audacity to make movies because who control the movies? The so-called white man. They had the audacity to show you how them had you. So it's to like put a syndrome in your mind. To put you in our mind so that, hey, we once had you so we can put you back so. You understand? Because...
That's it on the scripture, so like that.
Yeah, that's the...
Right, so you agree?
I was going to inside
Go ahead.
Like...
And before, so that, yeah, before you think it, that is why it's so easy to believe you're the African, because what Esau do, the position that he had, the way he had the African and them looking, our people looking the same way. You understand? We ain't drinking cow piss and doing all the worst. But our people, they're trying to have our people looking like them because we people are the lowest. You understand? Our people down to the ground. You understand? We ain't doing the worst. Yeah, we ain't doing the worst things that they're doing. But our people in a real worse condition from the estate we once was in. You understand? What the scriptures say, the angels that fell from their first estate. You understand? Which was us being at a high stature. Now look at our people.
Yeah, we fell from our rulership, and the Lord was showing me that. Hey, Moses was if who don't want to believe Moses was a prophet, that is there, but Moses was a prophet. Can? Moses said that the Israelites, if you break God's commandment, woe will be unto you.
Yeah, it say verse 3, it say and they appeared, and I not fit enough.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right, good.
And they appeared another wonder in heaven,
yeah.
And behold a great red dragon.
A great what?
A great red dragon.
And behold a great red dragon. That red dragon represents the Roman Empire. I'll say it again, that red dragon is not a dragon in heaven. But I know, brother's supposed to know, I hope all you know that, right? You know, look at me, James, prophetic vibration and thinking that thought. That red dragon is the what? The Roman Empire. What is what you said?
Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire. Read.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Like what we seen today, like today, let me just get my book here. I just say 7 heads and 10 horns. Look at happening all over again now. Right? It was back then, look at happening again. That will scripture say there is nothing new under the sun, can? Nothing new under the sun. Right? The 7 heads is Germany major. Today, in today's world, Germany major, the Roman, the French, the Spanish, Germany major, the Roman, the French, the Spanish, Germany minor, the British, and the Greeks, right? But the Greeks was first, then the British came after, and out of Britain came what? America. Everybody understand that? That is the 10, that is the 7 heads, right? The 10 horns is Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Spain, Portugal, England, Ireland, West Germany. That is the 10 horns. Everybody understand that? Right? And that we talk about in today's world. But these was already established already. I want to tell you, the Bible says there is nothing new under the sun. You see, it's the same revised Roman Empire all over again that what we under right now. And we are the last day. When we say the last day, Israelites, we the children in the last days now. So all we have to hold on to is our book of heritage, which is our Bible. The Bible is our what? Book of heritage. That is how we understand ourselves. If you want to know anything about my history is all based in the Bible. Everybody understand this thing? So go ahead, Ak. With the short of
and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads.
Go ahead.
And
now that's the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And a steel jaw third part of the stars of heaven.
Go ahead.
And they cast them to the earth.
And cast them where?
To the earth.
Which means you cast them in slavery. Right? The stars of the heaven is the Israelites. Everybody understand this thing? Go ahead.
And the dragon took before the woman which was ready to be delivered for
so the woman is a two-part. The woman is a two-part. She's Mary, and yet she represent the Israelites. Understand what I'm saying? And that child where the Israelite is bearing inside them. Now the womb represents the spirit. Everybody understand what I'm saying? The womb represents the spirit. And what child is that? That what we have in the spirit is what? The word of God. We bring in for the word. Everybody understand what I'm saying? It's all a metaphor and parable. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Read.
Yes, yeah. For to devour her children as soon as it was born.
Go ahead.
It's verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to be rule all nations.
Who was to what?
To rule all nations.
He said, no, she brought for a man-child which is to rule all nations. You give me Daniel 7, I beheld till the thrones was cast down. Because all this whole thing with slavery and us and we not being Hamites and Africans, it all goes into the book of Daniel. Daniel showed me that we are the princes of Judah. You understand what I'm saying? Who was carried away into Babylon in slavery. Everybody understand this thing? Well,
with a rod of iron.
With a what?
With a rod of iron.
And he was to rule the nation with a rod of iron. You give me Revelation. You know what I'm talking about? Revelation 2. And let me get it. Salaki. To him that overcometh, I will give you power over the nation. Yes, now hold on, let me get that here. Salakia. Let the scriptures dovetail and tie together so you understand what this thing talking about. Revelation 2
26
and 26. Can. But bring out the scripture, yes, and then we will read the next scripture. What one came in there?
The thrones were cast down.
Yeah, Daniel 7 and 9. Yeah. Get to
the Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9.
Go ahead.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
Go ahead.
And the ancient of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool.
No, the ancient of days is Yahawah. The ancient of days is Yahawah. But through Yahawah Shai, the Lord used Yahawah Shai to what? To subdue the nations. So that's why the scripture said there, and she shall bring forth a son who was to rule the nation with what? A rod of iron. Read that over again, and you bring all the precept in Revelation. Share for me.
Right. This is the book of Revelation, 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
So that man-child is Yahawah Shai Mashiach. That he is the coming King of Kings and Lord of Lords that will subdue all nations and rule them with what?
A rod of iron.
What the rod of iron represent? Yara.
Slavery.
Slavery. Iron. When we say I use it with an iron fist, that means slavery. Can? Everybody understand this thing? Can. I wanted to say can because they'll catch it.
Okay, go back to who put us into captivity, shall go into captivity.
You bring out the precept back, so like here.
The book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26.
Where?
and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end.
Now listen to this, he that overcometh and keepeth my what?
My works unto the end.
I wonder if Janice and Jambi listening to this video, if you go listen to this video, boy, listen carefully to what he's saying now. He didn't say keep my words, you know. He said keep my what?
My works unto the end.
Spell that word.
W-R-K-S.
So how a man can say we don't have to go out and do the works, right?
No, he don't know whatever works he thinking about.
But God say keep the work, do the works to the end, right?
Man.
Go ahead.
To him will I give power over the nations.
To him will I give power over the what?
The nations.
So I thought we don't have to do the work here. But the Lord saying here, you have to do the works to the very end in order to receive that power over the nations, right?
No, as the scripture say, blessed is he when the Most High come, he catch doing the works.
So repeat it again.
Blessed is the person when the Most High come. That's what we paraphrasing now.
Yeah.
The Most High catch them doing the works now. That's a blessed thing.
You know what? I'm not going to preach about say, edification. See, this is the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Start from 12. It says, and behold, I come quickly.
Behold, I what?
Behold, I come quickly.
The Lord said, behold, I come quickly. Go ahead.
And my reward is with me, to give every man according to his works shall be.
Right, he said to give every man according to his work shall be. So continue in it, where you say that?
It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Which is slavery. Although we will have a physical rod to beat them on the back and the head, that is correct. But the rod of iron represents what? Slavery. That's the word of God.
As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
So how they will be broken into shiver? Because you're mashing them in the head with the rod. Slavery. What did they do? What did you remember the things they did Jake in slavery? They tied Jake a hand to the horse here and the foot to the horse here, and then lash the horse and bust Jake in half and all kind of thing. You remember that thing? You remember the atrocity what happening? With us, what the so-called white man and these nations did to us?
Really? That's why it's like, yeah, that's
not enough finish it. That's why it say, even as I received of my father. So that already showing you that what the Lord do to we is what we're gonna do to them, because we know that he used them to deal with us. So he's gonna use we to deal with them.
So like, yeah, that's going back into Psalms 137, when they did the burn on Jerusalem, and you know, going back to the scripture in verse 8, it says, O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee, as thou hast served us. It says, verse 9, say, happy shall he be that taken and dashed thy little ones against the stone.
You see that take and dash the little ones against the stone.
So we gotta
so imagine them, my baby crying, wah, and you take it and dash it.
Yeah,
against the stone. You know in the day you laughing at that, you know in the days are not turn and then that through the spirit. And the Lord was showing you what is about to come into the future. How the Israelites go operate through the spirit of the Lord. You Christians, so like you Christians don't want to hear that. You Christians want to it's all about sweet Jesus and God so loved the world.
Because when Yahawah Hashem shall come back with vengeance, and the spirit of vengeance is going to be on the elect men. So we can have to remorse on these heathens on them, because we can get a full, you know, give back that remembrance of what we went through, you know, and on that day, and we're gonna be having vengeance on our mind and a sword in our hand to execute vengeance on these heathens too. Yeah, Hashem says that you're gonna raise up a standard against them, and that's gonna be the men of the Lord.
Yeah, you Africans, you Hamites, you Egyptians, you Ethiopians. The scripture says all you are coming in chains.
Because you feel when the Lord return, you gonna be confused by who's he people and who's not he people.
You already know.
You understand? You feel that Hamite going and so
this guy is an Israelite.
He gonna disguise himself and no, the Lord gonna know who he come back for.
So like, yeah, that's why the brother bring out the scripture, because what the Lord do when we come up from the Red Sea, you know, what the Lord do, the Lord give you the land of Canaan. So that's why I bring out that account in Exodus 33.
You want to go back in Genesis and bring out the lineage of Ham and Shem.
You better have it there.
The book of Exodus chapter 33 and verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, depart, and go ye up thence, thou and the people which thou hast brought up out of the land of Egypt, unto the land which I swear unto Abraham, to Isaac, and unto Jacob, saying, unto thy seed will I give it, and I will send an angel before thee, and I will drive out the Canaanite,
those Africans, where
the Amorite,
another bunch. All these nations is Africans nation, right? And you know the Africans. When I mean the Africans, the Hamites was our #1 enemy. All these different tribes of Ham was our #1 enemy. Ham. When I tell you, we say war with Ham plenty.
It's so spiritual because what you say, because they was the first nation when we come out from the Red Sea we fight against.
You can.
Besides the Yahawah, we try to destroy Pharaoh and his army, but we actually literally went in a war with. Is the Canaanites, and take over their land and run them from their land.
And the Hagarenes and the Jebusites and all these and all these ites and all them ites. It's just demons right through, left, right, and center.
So, because what you was as I played in the video earlier on, what they was doing on the land, you know, they washing the hair with piss, you know, they taking the dung and mixing it with sand. And they put it on the head and for dye and for the skin, and even beating with the cow piss when they get plenty urine. That'll show you how dirty and defiled these nations was. You know, because we know Israel, they don't say, hey, going back to what Esau saying in Wisdom of Solomon, we are clean. We are clean. You know? We are clean. So going back to these other nations, they are unclean because they eating our bum, the Chinese Moab, the Elamites, all they eating shrimp, they eating catfish, they eating pork, they eating cockroach, they eating spider. Get them by them the human, them the feet, baby fetus they eating.
And you Christians and you Christians want to invite them in our little olive tree, you got to be out of your mind. Right. But then Christianity is not of God neither too, so you could catch that feeling how much time you want. The gospel remains the same, not so?
This is book of Joel chapter 3 and verse 1.
Where?
For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Right, so you go bring it back to remembrance. Everything goes start to spew out now. Well,
and I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat,
which is the valley of decision, judgment. Well,
and will plead with them.
How the Lord going to plead with them? You think the Lord going to beg them? The Lord going to kill them? Great slaughter when you go back to Isaiah 66. Verse 15, and the slain of the Lord shall be what? Many. Shall be many. Many in the open valley. Go ahead.
And will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel.
And for his what?
And for my heritage Israel.
Because all we ever know is slavery upon slavery, from one kingdom to another kingdom, from one. You understand what I'm saying? It's just slavery upon slavery and slavery upon slavery. And until Jeremiah had to say, well, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why is the nation spoiling him? But now the cup that we drink, the cup of the Lord's indignation, we did drink. But the Lord said, I'm going to pass it on to you nations, every one of you, and you're going to drink it down to the dregs and be drunken.
Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people.
Yeah, that's what you Esau, Edom, and you nations did, read.
Yeah, and that casting lots has meaning putting them on
auction blocks. Yeah, 565 cents for this Negro. Well, and skinning your teeth and you understand what I'm saying? Stripping them naked and yeah. The kind of humiliation our people went through. Even Yahawah, when he came upon the earth, he went through humiliation too. It's just to show you how wicked these people is, and the Lord will keep showing me they are not your friends. Do not mingle with them. And you transgress against the law, this is what will happen. Where that?
And have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
Well,
yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Zidon and O Tyre and Zidon?
Two African nations. Two Hamite nations. You understand? Well,
and all the coast of Palestine.
And then all the coast of Palestine. All the nature around the nation. And Palestine in those days was no what the Palestine that you know today. You understand? It was Africans that occupied the coast now. Everybody understand? The sons of Ham. Which is the Philistine and them, can.
Will ye render me a recompense?
The Lord said, but if will you render me a recompense? In other words, could you recompense me? No, you can't.
How will you pay me back for this?
Can.
You know? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
Go ahead. That's it on that. That's it on that. Who continue what you didn't reach? You have something holding there for me? You have something holding there for me? How about you had something holding there for me?
I was reading Revelation.
Yeah, continue where you say, and she went into the wilderness. That wilderness is Africa.
Right. Continuing in Revelation 12 verse 6. Right? Well, I'm talking from 5, it says, and she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron.
Which is Yahawah. Go ahead.
And her child was caught up upon cast up upon Yahawah.
It was caught up
unto Yahawah.
Well.
And to his throne.
Well.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, wherein she...
No, that wilderness, hold on, and the woman fled into the wilderness. That wilderness is Africa. That's going with Luke 20, you understand? And it's going with the account in here now. That woman is Israel, and that wilderness is what? Is Africa. Well.
And I read, it say, in the wilderness, into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of Yahawah.
Well.
And they for Yahawah,
well,
that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
So that is the approximate time. We spent 1,000 and something years in Africa, then we came on this side of the world. You all understand what I'm talking about? Like we assimilate with the Africans, so that's why we have names like Yoruba and Mandingo and all them different names. You understand what I'm talking about? Because we assimilate over those years. We assimilate with the Africans. Everybody understand? Tell me if you don't understand it, please tell me one time. Can?
Can.
Go ahead.
I couldn't it? Alright. Verse 7 we see, and there was war in heaven, Michael and his angel fought against...
But that word heaven is what? Rulership. That part of history, they were supposed to stop at that, but that part going into, what you know what that part going into? That part going into, we took Satan and bound him for 1,000 years. You remember what I'm talking about? The Byzantine Empire. Yeah. Ruling. You understand? Because remember the Bible is forward and then backward. That's how it does, the prophecies of do. Past and future tense. That is how it is. But step up to the ark. Yeah. I go into something else. Continue. Who the same scripture that gets somebody to who? You didn't have scripture holding for me.
That was what they call as the
You go into the lineage now. Salakia.
What scripture here to bring out in this one?
You go into the lineage, Genesis, the lineage of Ham and the lineage of things. Let's get the lineage account. Although we should have gone into the lineage earlier, but the spirit just flowed that way.
Yeah, that's the most important, yeah. 2 and 12. Yeah, this is the book of it's not bringing out the summer. This the book of read the summer. Okay, start from 11.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 11.
Well,
the Lord will be terrible unto them.
The Lord will be what?
Will be terrible unto them.
The Lord will be terrible unto them. Go ahead.
For he will famish all the gods of the earth.
He will what?
He will famish all the gods of the earth.
Yeah, he will destroy all the gods of the earth. Go ahead.
And men shall worship him.
And men shall worship what?
Him.
Yeah, he alone will be praised. And in the scripture even say when the righteous and authority, the people will rejoice, and when the wicked bear the holy people what? Mourn. Go ahead.
Everyone from his place, even all the isles of the heathen.
And even the heathens and all will go say, let us go up into the mountain of God, the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. Because they have no ways. So they need to know the ways. But for the meanwhile, but how is that going to happen? Because we subdue them. That's why the scripture says many became Jews because what? The fear of Yahawah Bashim Yahweh came upon them. Everybody understand what I'm saying?
Can. Go down to the point.
Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword.
He said, and you Ethiopians also, you hamites. That's another, Ethiopia is just another band of the hamites. They shall be what?
Ye shall be slain by my sword.
So we're not Ethiopians, we're not
Egyptians,
we're not Hamites, we're not none of these Canaanites, none. We are the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
Like why we scattered to the four corners of the earth. And the Lord rising us up with our blessed heritage.
And why we scattered to the four corners of the earth? Because we transgress against the law. And the Lord, going back to the, because when you tell me in Deuteronomy, from 1, it tell me the blessings, and from 15, go down to 60, it tell me the curses, and we fit the curses are Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. We alone come down through slavery in ships, in Egypt again with ships. So we fit in the curses what you going on around the world. We the lowest.
Until you Christians could tell me when these stinking white people fit the curses of Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 to 68, when did these things happen to them? Then you're talking business. And until you can't tell me that, until you all can't tell me that, we don't want to hear you.
Just as Christopher Columbus, he was just a trading center for slaves. I continue in this. And he will stretch out his hand against the north. Which going into America. And destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh a desolation and dry like a wilderness.
Yeah, that's it all that. Get your lineage.
They are in Genesis 10. I want to go into the woods one time.
Alright, bring Genesis 10. You can get it on your phone if you want to. So you can see it more clearly. See when that
so fucking this right now. So give me everything in English. Yeah. I know how to take it in English.
You get that?
Yeah, you still have stuff on it. You can read stuff on one.
Oh yes, I know.
Genesis.
10 and 7. In this book of Genesis chapter 10 and verse 7.
Well,
you see, and the sons of Cush, Sheba, and
start from 1.
They say, now these are the generation of the son of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Right.
And unto them were the sons born after the flood.
Them were sons born, and the sons born after the flood, right? Go ahead.
You see, the sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach.
And Meshach.
Meshach, and Tyrus.
Go ahead.
You see, and the sons of Gomer,
Ashkenaz,
and Raphat, and Tagrab, and Togama. So yeah. You see, and the sons of Javan. The sons of Javan, Elisha.
Yeah, Elisha.
Yeah. And
Tashish.
And
Kittim. And
Dudan. You see, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands.
Well,
you see, everyone after his tongue, after their family in their nations.
Well,
you see, and the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim.
Listen carefully. He said the sons of Ham, Cush, which is Ethiopians.
Mizraim,
the Egyptian.
And Put,
where?
And Canaan,
where?
The sons of Cush, Sheba, and Havilah,
where?
And Sabbath, and Ramah,
and Ramah, yeah.
And Sibach,
yeah.
And the sons of Ramah, Sheba,
and Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Cush begat Nimrod.
And Cush begat what?
Nimrod.
That is not our heritage. We are not Cushites. We are Israelites. And Nimrod was an Ethiopian.
Who was Nimrod?
Who was Nimrod and what empire?
Yeah.
Can you read what it says about Nimrod there?
Continue.
Yeah, and see, he began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Yeah, he becomes to be a mighty one in the earth. As Apostle Charles said, he begins to be what I call a giant in the earth.
Yeah, Nimrod.
Nimrod, you understand? A mighty, he was a mighty one. He began to establish a kingdom then, a rulership over the people. And the people begin to worship him like they worship God. He had the same spirit of Artaxerxes now. Can?
He was
Artaxerxes going back to the
Persian
Empire.
But he have a spirit. Remember, all them heathens had the similar spirits.
Can come by, go back to the scripture. Yahawah say that he set them up. He set them up in he set them up.
Wait, you telling me?
He set them up in
something on the same day.
Yahawah set them up to take them down. You know, so all these empires. So
is that serious?
Yeah, all these nations. He set up kings and to bring them down. Yeah. So hey, all that. Yeah,
that because we know Negro never tried to exalt himself above the Most High God. Only now you find Negroes talking after that crap because why they live in the ways of the heathen. But since we know ourselves as a nation collectively.
You know that's the other way you say none of the Israelites.
None of the 12 tribes.
In them timing never was exalting themselves to be worshipped. You understand? The nation of Israel in that time knew, well, it had wicked ones, wicked men in Israel, yes, but Israel itself, they knew the power of the Most High. They knew the seriousness of the Most High. You understand? But these heathens now, they were doing freely. But the Lord passed spirit on them not to even study the Most High. They just to do wickedness.
They were born to do evil.
Some of them were frightened to run upon the Israelites, but they were still doing wickedness. Right? They were doing wickedly according to the spirit.
That is how it was. That's why they call them heathen. They are not of Yahawah Bashim Yahawah. Everybody understand that I hope I didn't get confounded. I can't.
Things I know, these things I
Continue.
Well,
yeah, verse 9.
Well,
yeah, it say
he was a mighty hunter.
Yeah, it say he was a mighty hunter before Yahawah. Wherefore it is said, even Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahawah, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Was what?
Babel.
So Babylon, the first Babylonian empire, you understand, way back then his kingdom was Babylon, and it stretched from Ethiopia straight out into Iraq. That whole zone there, that's where Babylon stretched from. So when the Rastafarian bowling, I'm an Ethiopian man, you full of shit.
Full of shit because hey, he was an Ethiopian, plenty of the Ethiopians is
you know they actually say the Ethiopian and not knowing they say they calling themselves Babylonians.
Because these Ethiopians was 9 feet, 10 feet tall, 11 feet, 12 feet. These those tall stature men.
Egyptians too.
Yeah.
Mizraim.
Yeah, these thin long bone men. Well,
9 feet, 10 feet.
Yeah, we started see. Yeah, and the beginning of the kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkad, Salakia, and Calneh in the land of Shinar.
The land of what?
Shinar.
Where?
Out of that land, Salakia, went forth Asher and building Nineveh, Salakia, and building Nineveh,
the city of
Rehoboth.
And just to add before the brother continue, all them cities were cities in Babylon. Babylon cities.
Yeah,
you understand? All them cities was just surrounding Babylon, and all them cities was ruled by the hamites.
Yeah.
You understand? They was ruled under Nimrod.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, Ham in history had a great play in history now. That ham nasty bottom smell of ham.
No, because we really watch it, we go back in churches, right?
Yeah, and you probably looking at that big cow there, you know?
To blow your bottom.
It's just showing that this whole video is based upon we are not Hamites. We are not African. We are the Hebrew Israelites.
Nimrod, the celebrating the festival.
And Nimrod, yeah. The first celebrating there, a road and you. And then show you because Israelite money gonna put makeup and to get women. And here what they say about their culture that even a man's wife you could go with. So that is adultery. So that just show them as heathens. They are heathens. The Egyptians, the Ethiopians, all of these is heathen nations. You know? they have a similar color to us, but they are not us. You know, they heritage and well not heritage, they tribal life is not of our heritage.
I am the Lord that God separated you from other people.
Because hey, as we see in this time here in Nigeria, I think it's in Nigeria, and what they're doing, they hide the food stuff and they want to give the unto the people on them until our people that are running and 2-3 hours people die, or 10 or 11 of them are going to tell them die.
Hence the reason why the Lord said, behold, I will bring you into Egypt, which is again in the land of Egypt, or Egypt represents bondage, but where will the bondage start? In Africa. We are not Hamites, we are the Israelites.
When they say
are we longing to go back home where? To Zion. To Zion. And where we belong.
And that as well I say, we longing to go to Zion. And that the only way we can go to Zion is when the Lord come, Revelation 21 and 1, when the Lord destroy this heaven and this earth and bring for the new heaven and the new Jerusalem. You know, because the time we live in right now is the coming of Yahawah. So this earth have to get cleansed by fire for we to see that new Jerusalem. So we have to make sure that we call an election show.
Bring it.
Yeah. To see that.
So this is the last scripture coming out here.
Yeah, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 24.
Well,
but I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it. A land that floweth with milk and honey.
Well,
I am the Lord Yahawah, your power.
You see, I am the Lord Yahawah, your power, the Israelites, who scatter in the West Indies, in the Americas, and all parts of the world, read.
Yeah. Which have separated you.
Which has separated you from what?
From other people.
From other people. But where they want to join with the heathens for, boy?
Bro, that's what I in Zalakia in Joel 2 and 27, Baba Kusha. We'll put up with that one day.
This is book of Joel chapter 2 and verse 27. It says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and I am the power, Yahawah, and none else.
He said, I am the power, Yahawah, or I'm your power, Yahawah, and none else. I ain't know nobody else. The Lord said, I ain't know no other nation but all this. So why only want to be the other nation? The other nation stink and nasty. And all kind of wickedness.
Why you say, hey, envy not the oppressors, which is the heathens, and choose none of their ways.
Every time they talk to the Negroes, Hispanic and Native American, all these Israel, they frowns the face.
Yeah.
Like God cussed the mother.
Because what they're doing, they do opposite. Our Yahawah, shouldn't I tell them?
Because it's not them, you know, it's the demons upon them, you know. And demons, let me tell you something, you see what you eat, you see the food you eating, create evil spirits in them, bad boy.
It's like...
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because our precept we bring out recently in a video that's saying, when one spirit leave you, it comes back with 7 more unclean spirits, you understand? So when you feel one spirit leave you, you understand? He going to bring more spirits. Yeah. And when you have all them spirits on you, what you could do? You understand? The Lord put them spirits on you, you can't really turn back from it. The only thing you can do is turn to the Lord now and repent.
And why the Lord give us Leviticus laws, what to eat, so keep our vessel clean.
Yeah,
so
the meat will be clean and the unclean.
So the Rukak Kodash can enter in us because we are clean vessel. We are vessel not eating defiled food. We eating food with the Mosai put for us through the laws to eat. You know, we eating, you know, fish with scales, you know, meat, chicken, turkey, you know, good food. You know, to have ourselves vegetables, fruits, to have ourselves, you know, in that cleanse in our way. But the best thing for us to do is praying and fasting. That is the key thing for in our diet.
You know, that's like here. You know, I don't want to be carnal here, but I remember watching the movie called the Jamaican movie called oh gosh, it still work out. Where I think a ratty working for the boss now, and the boss tell him, I create the percentage. Ratty started frowning the face. He said, no youth, you started frowning the face. So every time we tell them what they go to Israel, they frown the face.
Yeah, because
that's why in Amos 3 the Lord say, you only have I known Israel. That's why I will punish you for all the things that they don't understand. Paraphrasing, but
every time we tell you Negroes, Hispanic, and Native American, Indians, and you all the children in Israel, only that's fraud. Why are they fraud? So what's what happened? So You know, you frowns in your face about it, but the white man in Jerusalem, he want to be it bad.
Bad.
He had the world trip over how much? Over 400 and plus years.
Yes.
Thinking everybody thinking they were the Israelites and we were just Africans. And finally, when we waking up to we the Israelites, youth, you know, all the frowns in all the face.
Nah, you know the saying? So like, the saying, you know, I high. And I read the Bible a long time, you understand? And I eat this book. But I don't really eat this book. Because if you eat this book...
Like Salaki, like cousin just sit down there just now there. Yeah, like cousin sit down there.
Because if you eat this roll, you understand? This roll is that thing that it does do. Is that it puff you up and you become a wicked nigga after a while, or you get understanding from it and the Lord deal with you and make the spirit flow through you.
And Salaki, he's sitting down there and in my mind, I say, if you know, I want the Lord to get rid of you right now. He is at the disturbance right now. I'll be honest with you, I was saying that meditating in my mind because I think, he's not ready for this yet. And he started listen, and a spirit take him and tell him, my boy, it's not for you, boy, go so.
Yeah, that is spirit I wash from the shy. So, hey, with that, we want to give all praises.
We want to give all praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. We say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that ruled well. Hey, this video was very long, but it was beautiful. Salutations to all the brothers all over the world that preaching this truth, waking up all people and cursing out to it because it just ain't right.
That's right.
To the aqua to listen and learn, we say shalom. Shalom. Even to the speckled Israelite may look like the other nation, but they actually the seed of Jacob, we say shalom.
Shalom.
And why a bad ball to you nations.
That's right.
All you nations.
Shalom.
Yeah.